Do, 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 do. Let's give that a second. So you guys are here to look at some games that are Wendigo-esk. I just know it. I know you guys are. That's why you clicked on it. Yeah, don't blame me for clicking on it. It's an interesting topic. I mean, I know for me, I've seen the Wendigo get a lot of, attention and screen time in media over the past couple years. In the Supernatural TV series, that movie Antlers. It was in, oh crap, what's that game? I love that game. Kona. It was in Kona. Oh, and Until Dawn. I still need to play that one. That one looks amazing. It's a lot like the other series I really like. Oh, what's that one called? It's the one, Little Hope. And it's, I can't think of that game series. The Dark Pictures Anthology. Great game series. Highly recommend it. Anyway, all these different games, or these different movies, these different supernatural TV series, have you guys noticed that the Wendigo looks kind of different in each and every one? Some have horns, some are extremely malnourished demons that want to eat people. I mean, I think they all want to eat people. But anyway, so what's up with that? Well, first off, let's talk a little bit about the myth of the Wendigo. The Wendigo comes from the Algonquin-speaking tribes of North America. That's probably right. I am sorry if it's not. It's often depicted as a cannibalistic humanoid that is sometimes extremely tall and is usually always possessed by a sort of evil spirit. It almost always appears as a malnourished thing, which represents its never-ending hunger. The antlered version of the Wendigo that we see in media is a more recent thing. That's not from the original folklore. It was first depicted with antlers in the 2001 movie just titled Wendigo. But people really love this depiction of the Wendigo and love to tweak with it. I mean, look at all this. Look at that. There's so much of it. Look at all this fan art. But not this one. Don't look at this one. Never this one. Anyway, so the biggest difference that this pop culture media version has from the folklore version is usually more of its face region area. One, the pop culture is more of a werewolf deer thing, having either a deer's head or having sometimes the face of a human with antlers. Those antlers. Is the beast from over the garden wall a Wendigo? Nope. That's not what we're talking about today. That is not the subject of this video. Those are questions for another day. Today, we are looking at free video games on Steam that feature a Wendigo or something kind of like it. A creature that appears to have been inspired by the Wendigo. Doesn't have to be exactly the Wendigo. We're going to rate how much these beasts and creatures are like the folklore version of the Wendigo, the pop culture version of the Wendigo, and we're also just going to look at the overall game itself. See if it's any good. The gameplay, mechanics, voice acting, stuff, that sort of crap. Let's see. Let's start with, The Deer. The Deer, published and developed by Dodo Digital, came out December 16th, 2019. All in all, this game actually surprised me in a good way. The Deer takes the pop culture version of the Wendigo, antlers and all, and has some fun with it. There are 3 game options on the main menu. Origins is the first in this mode. You're looking for 3 totems to lift a curse, something like that. I never found a single totem, but I did find the Wendigo. He looks pretty good. In the story option, you and your friend Chad are Bigfoot hunters that bite off more than you can chew. Some of this story was a little confusing for me, like when you fall into a river following a glowing deer in a dreamlike state, then wake up in Chad's camp like nothing happened. Chad. Oh, Chad. I love the voice acting for Chad. It's pretty bad, but in a fun and quirky way. Definitely going for that southern drawl, and I loved it.
What in tarnation? We should go check that out. It's gotta be Bigfoot.
All in all, it took about 15 minutes for me to get the second out of 4 endings, and it was the death by deer ending. The final mode is Rudolph's Revenge, and this was just funny and a little nerve-wracking. You just need to find 7 presents before Rudolph gets you, and you can see his flashing red nose off in the distance. Pretty funny in my opinion. So, folklore Wendigo-wise for the Deer, I'm just not sure. First off, each mode has a different Wendigo. The story mode has these tall deer things. Rudolph's Revenge has this deer with a red nose. But the Origins version seems to be the version that takes the most inspiration from the Wendigo. But it doesn't really hit a lot of points folklore-wise. It feels more like a Bigfoot roaming the countryside than an evil-spirited Wendigo. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. Pop culture-wise, definitely. It's a humanoid creature with deer skull and antlers. Definitely like that depiction of the pop culture Wendigo. 7 out of 10. Yeah, it was good. It is important to note, though, that the creature in this game is called the Eigelvac, which seems to be just a name the developers made up, which is cool. It's not necessarily a Wendigo, but there is no way that the myth of the Wendigo did not inspire this game in some way or another. I mean, look at that. Yeah, it's got that inspiration there. Oh, and game-wise, overall, 7 out of 10. The game is fine. It functions fine. I never really had any issues. I got a little lost once or twice, but it actually wasn't a big deal. It's a good game. That made me jump in my seat once or twice during the story, and it was kind of funny with the voice acting. All right, next game. Next, what do we got? Oh, the Wendigo. Released February 24th, 2017. The Wendigo was developed by Warka and published by Warka Development. Not much really developed by Warka on Steam. Anyway, I'm not gonna lie, I had high hopes for this one. I mean, it's titled The Wendigo, but it kind of let me down. This game gives me a bit of a phasmophobia vibe, which is cool. That's great, but it's not anywhere near the same level in terms of items. Really just this EMF reader. As the story, basically, you went with some friends to an abandoned mansion because of sightings of a weird creature. You all set up cameras around the mansion, but when it comes time to leave, no one comes back. The goal of the game is to search for recorders that tell a story of what happened to them, then escape. I had a hard time finding them, since they don't always respawn in the same space, after you die and you have to restart. But once you realize they glow red, it becomes easier to find them throughout the game. Also, you can use the cameras your friend set up to search. I mean, honestly, it's an alright mechanic. The part that's kind of frustrating for me with the game, it's just the fact the Wendigo isn't really a Wendigo. Wendigo? It isn't really a Wendigo. Wendigo, just let me explain. I feel like it's trying to be the pop culture Wendigo. Part deer, part man. But it ends up being a half man, half goat abomination. I mean, look at that horn. That's more a ram than a deer. The only thing I will give this monster is that it looks like it's leaning in the direction of being an evil spirit, which is definitely more folklore inspired, which I really appreciate and respect. Why do I think this? Well, I'm using an EMF reader, which is meant to help register when spirits are around. Well, not really. It's meant to help register electromagnetic fields. But tomato, potato, whatever that is. All in all, pop culture Wendigo, 3 out of 10. Folklore Wendigo, I'm going to go 6 out of 10. It was a lot closer. It didn't necessarily delve deeply into the Algonquin myth, but, whatever. It seemed to take inspiration. 6 out of 10. Overall game itself, 6 out of 10. Not super silly, but not super scary. But still kind of fun, and functions fine. Didn't finish it, though. Got bored. 5 out of 10. All right, next one. Okay, smack dab in the middle of this list, I'm putting in Hunted Kalevala. This is more of a honorable mention. Released December 9th, 2022, developed by Hunted_Kalevala, published by Jam K Games? Okay, Jam K Games. First things first. Folklore-wise, 0 out of 10. At the end of the day, the developer states this game is placed in a Finnish mythology setting. Even the name of the game seems to be inspired by a Finnish book from the 19th century called Kalevala. It's a collection of tales and poems. From the look of it, talks about myth of creation and the lives of ordinary people, so forth and so on, with some political aspects to it. But I didn't really look deeply into the book. I'm not even sure if the book really relates to the game at all, but that's all that popped up when I did some research on Kalevala. But Hunted Kalevala, this game, still goes on the list of Wendigo-esk games, since, look at the monster. Total pop culture Wendigo. 7 out of 10. Skulls on its back aren't necessarily a Wendigo thing, but deer antler head kind of creature, it's definitely kind of going that vibe. I liked it. It's a good-looking monster. 7 out of 10. Plot of the game, you're a dad. Come home. Family dead. Gotta find what killed him. And kill it. Simple. But killing it, I couldn't do. Since I did not get far in this game at all, it was hard to play. I mean, janky hard. I put the knife away at one point and could not get it back out. I know I could lay down traps and stuff. Since I did it right here. This, like, wooden spike thingy. But I have no clue how I did it. I'm not even sure you can pick this up since the action key just makes them grunt and make noises. Oh, I laughed hard at this. I know plenty of games rig just the arms, but it is funny as all, well, everything, seeing the shadows of just the arms. Like, just look at that. That just looks so weird, and I love it. It's more funny than anything. So gameplay-wise, I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. It just was too hard to play. Just didn't work right. Super janky. Sad, too, since it claims you can fish and hunt and do other things. I think this could have been a really fun game. It might be fun. Maybe I could try to go back and try to get it to work again, but right now, not doing that. Just had to step away. All right, the next game. Let's see, what is this? Frostbitten. Oh, okay, sweet. I thought this game looked pretty interesting at first. It was released May 10th, 2022, developed and published by White Valley Studios. Overall plot, you're a park ranger, and I think White Valley Park. Oh, that's, I like what they did there. White Valley Studios, White Valley Park. All right. So in White Valley Park, you go searching for your coworker Josh, who has been missing for a day. Fun concept, 10 out of 10. Love the idea of exploring a frozen park being hunted by a Wendigo-like creature. However, right off the bat, I ran into issues. I had pretty bad screen tearing and no V-Sync to fix it. Picking up items was a nightmare. I had to smash the X button over and over just to attempt to get something, and it didn't always work. Perhaps it would have been better on keyboard. You know, I probably should have switched over, but I stuck with controller. So if you decide to give this game a try, maybe try keyboard, because controller seemed jank. And, well, no, that was really the worst of it. This game wasn't that bad. Voice acting is fine. Moving around is fine. You have a shovel and you can dig, so that's pretty cool. You just move the snow around. Look at that. That's beautiful. It's just fine. Oh, once you meet the, well, I'm calling it a Wendigo. I'm getting Wendigo vibes, but it's called a Frost Stalker, which is cool. Again, these are games that are they seem to be inspired by the Wendigo in a sense. So anyway, once it pops up, you can pat down the snow and you can make like snow mounds so that the Frost Stalker, Wendigo, will come over and it wants to pat it down and smush it down. So, go around, dig up snow piles, and it will, go and pat them down instead of attempting to disembowel you. Honestly, a fun mechanic. I liked it, but I was done with this game pretty quick. In this level, you have to look for a key to open a gate, but it's a nightmare finding items, and it's a nightmare picking them up. So I stopped after like the 20th time dying. I got done. I got bored. Wendigo, pop culture-wise, 4 out of 10. Folklore-wise, I'm gonna give it like a 2 out of 10. I'm gonna give it 2 out of 10. Gameplay-wise, I'm gonna give it 4 out of 10. Just no. Yeah. Okay, final game. Sweet. What do we got? What was this on the list? Oh, I played this one in a Let's Start a while back. Didn't realize I had a Wendigo in that one. Crap. All right. Let's see. Alpha Polaris. Not gonna lie, I didn't love this game. First off, I just don't really love point-and-click adventures. People can like them. I get it. I don't know. I find them boring. I have a hard time getting into them. I've actually only played 2 point-and-click adventures that I've enjoyed, and that was Paradigm and When the Past Was Around. The first one, Paradigm, made me laugh. I loved it. This tumor dude, hilarious. Everything about it, funny. Second one, When the Past Was Around, made me feel things. I cried a little bit. Great game. This one, Alpha Polaris, just made me mad and frustrated. Alpha Polaris was released in 2011, but it had a re-release date in 2015 on Steam. It was published and developed by Turmoil Games. Yep. Story-wise, you follow Rune Knudsen, who is doing research on polar bears and the Arctic itself, and he's at an oil company outpost in Greenland called Alpha Polaris. Yeah, it's basically a publicity stunt for the oil company, but everyone at the station seems to like him, or tolerate him. Well, except for this guy. But this guy sucks. So, doesn't matter. Over the course of the game, Al, the leader of the station, finds crude oil and people bones. Members of the station begin to have spooky dreams, and a weird electromagnetic storm rolls on it. Eventually, you find out that this is the work of an evil spirit called the Wendigo, or the Wendigo. As to it being a Wendigo, I mean, they went heavy on the evil spirit aspect of it. Of course, it also looks like the pop culture Wendigo with the horns, which is fine. I'm not mad about that. What I am mad about, though, is you don't really see much of the Wendigo aside from pictures on, like, this tapestry thing. Well, flesh. And a light show and... Oh, hold on a sec. Wait a second. Hold on. We don't really see the Wendigo till the end. So close your eyes if you don't want spoilers. Are they closed? Because when I say end, I mean last 5 minutes of the game. Okay, closed. Here we go. Yep, that's it. The Wendigo. Really spooky. Absolutely love it, right? Not a letdown at all. Not a letdown at all. Okay, you can open your eyes now. Before I can even rate the Wendigo itself, I have another problem. And it's the fact that this game claims the Wendigo is a creature from Greenland. I mean, during my research, I found that the Wendigo is a legend of the Algonquin-speaking tribes of North America. I mean, okay, here's a map that lays out the geographical location of these tribes. And then here's Greenland, over here. I mean, I guess, maybe, it's possible that somehow it made it up there. Maybe, but I'm gonna venture on no. Finding factual info on the Wendigo, though, is not easy with all the fan-made stuff out there, but I really could not find anything that suggests the myth was present in Greenland at any point. Really fun idea to have it in Greenland, since the Wendigo is often associated with greed and hunger from trying to survive the winter months, but it just doesn't seem to be folklore factual. So folklore-wise, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. They went in the right direction. Location-wise seems a little iffy. Some others, yeah, I'm 5 out of 10. Pop culture-wise, 6 out of 10. Would be higher, but I wish we could have seen it more in the flesh. Oh, and mechanic-wise, I had an awful time. You had to click on things just right to make it work, and I wandered around forever before I broke down and grabbed a walkthrough, which only helped to a certain point. I had to look at several walkthroughs just to play the game, cross-referencing back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and just no. So gameplay-wise, it gets a 3 out of 10 from me. But as I said, I'm not the biggest fan of point-and-click adventures, so I'm a little hard on them, especially if it just frustrates me beyond all belief. If this game looked interesting to you, give it a try. There's nothing wrong with that. Heck, give them all a try. They're all free, and all have just a little hint of Wendigo in them. Well, at least in my opinion. As much as I didn't love them, this was just a chance for you guys to see them and get your own thoughts on them. And if you want to try them, free. They're free. They're free, and that's wonderful. So give them a try if you really want to. All right. Thanks for joining me. It was a blast looking at these games. Hope you found something you liked. I mean, none of these games are mine, but I did love looking at them, and I hope you found something that you liked. And if you didn't, check out some of my Let's Start videos. I play the first 10 to 15 minutes of games to see if they're worth anything. Any fun. So maybe go give those a check. I'll put it right there. I'll put it over there. Anyway, catch you next time. Thanks for watching. See you guys. Bye.